Get my days right. Wednesday morning, could be Wednesday afternoon, could be Wednesday night. I lost my train of thoughts there for a moment. Forgive me. Um, we're gonna get this thing on just a second though. Let me see. Let me get it live for you. I had to remember what day it was. You can tell. Let me put this thing on real quick. Let me get this thing on real quick. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's get this on real quick. Yeah, give me just a second. I gotta. Yeah, give me just a second. I gotta. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. I'm sending out notifications for people, so don't move. Stay right there. Stay right there. I have to send out notifications because YouTube doesn't do it, so I'm sending out notifications. So don't move. Don't move. Please be patient and stay on. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. Day is good. Day is good. Thank you for asking. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. If this thing comes on, let me know. I'm on. If you can hear me, give me a one. My day is going good now. I got stuff kicking in gear. Um, Trying to get this thing connected. I am back. If you can hear me, give me a one. Apologize for the delay. I had to go send out notifications because I have what's up? How you doing? I had to send out notifications because they don't do it on YouTube for me. So I have to do it by hand. I got to do it the old fashioned way. I have to send it out to what's my sites? Let's see. I sent it out to X, Facebook groups. So when I send everything out, it takes a little while, but that's how the viewers come in. And then it takes a little time. But that's why I ask for patience. Because if I'm not on, that doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. It means that I was trying to get stuff sent out. So I got it sent out. So it's all good. And I'm here live now. So yeah. So what's up? We can talk about whatever. Um I watched the basketball game. Yeah. OKC's up 3-2. If you follow my channel, I did a video on that already. So it's already done. So feel free to check out my videos. And if you got any comments and you sign up for membership and you donate, I will make special request videos. People who donate, well, so Gail, you stay in touch with me in different forms. I will take special requests, which I do. I got a ton of videos. I don't lack for commentary. So if you follow me, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'm all over these social media streets. That's one reason why I take a little time, because I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Meta, whatever. But I do live streams here, and I'm going to be here today. And after today, I'll probably come back on Friday and Monday. What you mean, what is my dream at all? My dreams are usually good. I'm doing all right. How you doing? My dreams are good. Spiritual uplift. Nothing negative. Oh, boy. Yes, the 80% said Netflix is wrong. Yeah, it's pretty bad that they would do such a thing with a common sense. It's very racist as far as I'm concerned. I don't understand I know what they doing, but I don't condone it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Where you coming from, by the way? Tell me where you coming from, if you don't mind me asking. Tell me where you coming from. I always like to know if people don't mind. Tell me where they're coming from. Glad that you came through. Um, I was on live a few days ago. That's why I have to do so. Good to see you. That's why I have to do the manual. I gotta go to Substack. I go to Blue Sky. I go to X, Facebook. I have to like it goes to Threads. It goes to Instagram. And I gotta like let people know. So that's why I say if people follow me in different forms, I can say, hey, I'll be on. They don't do it. But the views are up though. Mind you, things have been going really great the past month. I don't know what video I made, but it's been a turnaround. Well, I'll help you out. Yeah, I'll help you out. I'll find you the master filter. Oh, I do them all because they all connected. So, like for instance, if people watch me here, they watch me on Facebook. Because I've been putting my videos on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. It's all connected. So it's done wonders. You got a network, and sometimes with people, some people are on X. Sometimes that word of mouth gets around. Yeah, I would say so. I'm gonna tell you why. They can win, but they're done against the Knicks. They'd be better off if they don't win, and I'm gonna tell you why. The guard play, which I said, Victor Wanyama has to score 30 plus to win. I will. I appreciate you being here. They young. He's still green. He's still a kid. Now, I still stand by the 4 to 5 year run of dominance. I still stand by that. But they gotta get. Let me tell you something. Boy, Tony Parker and Ginobili could be reincarnated, or Avery Johnson could be reincarnated. That's the kind of guard play they need. They don't have the right. The guards are athletic, but they shoot and they do too much high volume stuff. They don't play within the concept. I like the coach, but he ain't pop. They lack discipline. Turn the ball over too much and try to and don't. And De'Aaron Fox, I like him, but I appreciate you. Thank you. Same to you. That's one of their Achilles. That's why Charles Barkley's ripping them with no game plan. The bench is kind of lethargic. They're not that deep. And when Yamba is, if he's not scoring 30, they're not going to win. He has to be dominant. He has to be dominant. He needs to bulk up a bit. And he got to like get him a set shot. And when they get that guard play tight, because I tell you something, like, shoot, if he had somebody like Cade Cunningham running, all he needs is somebody who can dash. That's what I keep saying. And when you play against a team, and you play against a team like OKC, they make you pay, and it wears you out. Stop being cute. Take. That's why an Andre Miller type of point guard, even Tyrese Halliburton, would be perfect for Wanyama. That's all you need. All you need. You ain't gotta do all that dancing. Ray John Rondo style. Telling you. The other thing that's hurting them is Alex Caruso. They got no answer for Caruso. Yeah, he dropped a donut, but when he scores 20, they got no answer for him. They don't have that frustrated nuisance. That's the problem. So they got room to grow. No, I stand by what I said. Get them cats about, I still see a 4 or 5 year window where they be done with when it comes, if they don't mess him up. If they mess him up, then he turns into Yao Ming. You heard it here first. If he don't get where he's supposed to, he'll be a Yao Ming, and I don't think that's gonna happen to him. But I also see a lot of flaws with them. I'm having a great day. Thank you. I'm glad to have everybody come through. The timing worked out real good. I appreciate the patience. Took me a while to get all my notices out, but I got everything up, and I appreciate it when it came through. And I'm always supportive, and thank you. It's a great day. I feel blessed and honored, so thank you. And just, putting things in perspective. That's all. So thank you for being here. Because my show's only as good as people that come through and comment. But yeah, they can, but they could still win. I think they're gonna win game 6 and make it 7. But they would be better off if they don't win. They match up well against both teams. Against OKC, if Cat can dictate against Chad, but Harberstein is the difference though. He used to play for the Knicks. That's the thing. That's the thing. But I think I think they look forward to playing San Antonio. No, he ain't no. It'd be 2 straight. It won't be 3. It'll be 2. But he's in rare company if he wins. He's in rare company. I mean, if he wins this year and he's in rare company. I like SG a lot. He's got moves. Like the people always talk about flopping and acting, but he can actually move. He's got a steady shift that he does with his shoulders and his feet that he catches himself. And it's hard to defend him when he's going in the groove. He hasn't looked that good in the postseason, but they done enough. But they got enough talent to win. I don't know about next year. They're gonna have to make a move. They'll have to make a move. They'll have to make one move which will complement their bench. But if the Spurs don't make a move in the offseason, then yeah. They got a chance because they got a chance to have a dynasty if the Spurs don't act. And I don't think they're going to sit there and let Wanyamba just rot before he gets to his peak in his prime. But I'll say this. Best way to answer your question is this. If Chad Holmgren steps his game up and plays his Klay Thompson role to SGA Steph, then they got a chance to run off rings. Because Holmgren is the X factor. Of course they scared of him. Because he's doing it. And he makes them look old. He made LeBron them look old. They played good. Actually, JJ Ridiculous had good defense on him. But McCain tore they behind up. They had no, and Alex Caruso. They got out hustle. They look old. No, LeBron can't turn the clock back because they can't run with the young legs. Even Luca was getting, well, that's why he got hurt. And Austin Reeves got his pockets picked. They too slow on the perimeter. DeAndre Ayton is too light in the cakes to dominate. And LeBron is old. And of course, they hating. They think Oklahoma's a country backyard hit spot, and it ain't fancy. The Lakers ain't in the mix. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Remind me of what he did because it's been a while since I need to get reacquainted to what he had done. I know something went down. He can't be in no more trouble than this is old boy in Kansas City, and there's somebody else that got some situation too. Um, who am I thinking of who had some situation with the NFL, but they ain't said nothing? It was recent too. I can't even think. I hate when my brain go like that. Well, somebody had something recently, and it wasn't just a boy in Kansas City. It was somebody else. Oh, Vrabel, Vrabel, because that's pretty bad. Oh yeah, he gonna get suspended. Oh yeah, oh yeah, they gonna yeah. That's 4 or 5 game right there. Unless, of course, they think he's a marquee player. Now, let me ask you this question about Josh Jacobs: is he marquee? Do you consider him a top tier, top five? At his position, because if you tell me he ain't top five at his position, he gonna be sitting for 5 or 6 games. If he ain't top five in his position, he might be. He might be, but this is the problem. Goodell don't be playing about them suspensions. I mean, if Tom Brady got 5 games for a flat football, what you think? No, that ain't what I asked. Decent. You said decent with the Raiders. That's a 6 game suspension. The Raiders and decent don't go hand in hand. But wouldn't it be fitting that he's with Tom Brady? So I no, he gonna get some games. He gonna get some games. Um, he gonna get the games. You got too many charges against him. See, this is the thing. Even when you're clear, they still make your butt sit for 2 or 3 games. He's gonna sit, but I think Mike Vrabel should get to sit too. Brady did, but what you mean Rodgers 0 games? Aaron Rodgers? Oh well, Aaron didn't have no issues. Aaron didn't have no issues. That Brady thing was like a slap on. Well, that's the least they could do, considering what Belichick and Kraft been doing. That's the least they. And they never hold up manage the coaches and the owners accountable. Because Vrabel would get like 4 game suspension because he violated that whole thing with what's it? Okay, okay, you don't have to keep saying that. I got it. That's good. If people want to join in, they will. But it didn't help him because his arm. Did it help him in the postseason? Nope. He sure as heck didn't dive in the end zone in that game against Tampa Bay. If it wasn't for the fact he got that Super Bowl chip, and if it wasn't for that, I think they would stop playing with kitty gloves with him. But they just always give him a pass. They keep acting like he's gonna do something, and he's not gonna be good no more. Them days is gone. His best is gone. Pittsburgh can try hard as they might. That's shipped and sailed. Yeah, I didn't hear the Josh Jacobs thing, but I'm gonna tell you right now, he's looking at 4 or 5 games easily. The Raiders suck too. Yeah, he's looking at him. He looking at him. I have to ask who it is because if it's a name brand, yeah, they gotta. Yeah, if Brady got 5, then you gonna get 5 or 6. No, are you kidding me? Well, how did that work out in Green Bay? And that was how long ago? Some people who watched this stream weren't around to understand that what the big deal was Instagram or Snapchat. That's the last time those two turkeys mattered. That how long ago was that? Think about it. It's not gonna work. Meathead McCarthy didn't do nothing in Dallas till stat pad wins. And Aaron Rodgers looks old. Like, I don't know what you keep thinking he gonna do. Now, granted, if Lamar Jackson comes off and is busted this year and Joe Burrows is busted, okay. But if those teams are half as good as I think they're going to be, no. Steel's going to be battling Cleveland for the bottom, tearing the bottom up. You ain't winning with no 40-plus-year-old quarterback and a meathead coach who, by the way, in Dallas, didn't do a whole lot of nothing except got fatter, and the team was sucked in the postseason. So no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what they trying to sell. I ain't buying it. And if that's what it took to get Rand Mike Tomlin out for that, that's embarrassing. But they'll go through, they'll stink. Okay. So whatever y'all want to talk about, feel free to throw it out there. There's a lot going on. Yeah, thanks for telling me about the Josh Jacobs thing. But that all that's gonna be is what it is. Yeah, and how long ago was that? And what has happened to both of them since then? This is like the worst case scenario. Pittsburgh look like the Dumb and Dumber. You got a coach that nobody wants, who stat pads and ain't really done nothing, and you got a quarterback who's been washed. You know, I mean, really? Because Aaron Rodgers been gone looking like John Elway 2.0 to Joe Flacco 1.1. That's what it really is. I don't know how you get excited about that. I remember that. Like I said before, wasn't for that Super Bowl run, and he got 4 league MVPs, but how many times they gonna keep talking about there goes that bad man? What long time ago was that? That's why Skip Bayless be having a field day with him. Because Aaron Rodgers then turned into Mr. Rogers. And he got the wrong clothes on. Cap did pretty good. Cap did pretty good. You know. So people got selective memory about what they want. And I ain't buying nothing with Aaron Rodgers though. All right. That's what I call him. In my neighborhood, would you like to be my neighbor? Because that's what he then morphed into. So, I'm calling him Fred Rogers in disguise playing a quarterback. Ain't nobody sweating that turkey. Ain't nobody sweating him. Shh. He better hope. He better hope that what happened last year happens again this year, but that ain't gonna happen. Last year was a fluke with both Cincinnati and uh Baltimore sucking. Shh, ain't gonna happen. Hold up. Okay, I'm back. Let me give me a cough drop. Can they see? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If they are able to run the ball, the defense, Sam Darnold can stay poised. Yeah. What you mean, yo? Never give up? I don't never give up. No. Yeah, they can, but the division is tough. I think the Rams are going to be tough. I think the division is the toughest division in the NFL before now. But yeah, they can go. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to remember something. They went back a decade ago. Remember when they had Russell, when they choked? They don't need K9. They got enough to win. They're a good team. They're a good enough team. Their defense is legit. Um, they're good enough to win. You gotta remember something in that Super Bowl. If old boy ain't playing cornerback for New England, don't knock down a couple of them passes. Sam Darnold got about 400 yards in that game. Their defense tore they behind up. And that's Seattle's bread and butter. They figure they can get a legit running game. They got that wall on the line. They could do it. They just doing what they should have done, back in the in the 1-0, in the tens. They should have won back-to-back Super Bowls then. Because they had it set up. What's happening? They had Legion of Boom. They good. They're good enough. I don't think they will, but they're gonna be a problem though. They'll be a hard out. I tell you that if they're healthy and motivated. The scary part about them is that they're kind of similar to that they got cats you really don't know familiar with, and they could fool around and sneak. Mm-hmm. Depends on who comes out the AFC though. But yeah, because I think the NFC I think them and the Rams and the 49ers are probably three of the five best teams in the NFL, maybe three of the six. And I think the AFC got the quarterbacks, but the NFC got the better teams. Hate to say it. Seattle knows how to draft real well. Case in point, they've been in, 3 Super Bowls in the last 12, 13 years. That ain't no easy feat. And they won 2 of them, so, So Sam Darnold, who knows? They're going to be tough, though. They're going to be tough. No, that ain't it. Drake Maine looked like Drake without a glitter glove. Tore his behind up. They put a blanket on Stephon Diggs. New England ran the ball pretty good in the Super Bowl, but it had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with that. I don't know what that means. 200 pounds. I don't know what that means. They got manhandled. They shouldn't have beaten Denver. I'll tell you like this about the Patriots Super Bowl. The Patriots were like the San Antonio Spurs are right now, like a year or two ahead of schedule, and went and got their butt handed to them on a platter because they were out of their element. Shouldn't have beaten Denver. If Sean Payton don't try to be cute and just kick field goals, they beat New England in that AFC Championship game. No matter who's quarterbacking. And the Patriots, what you call an outer body, played over their minds, overachieved, and got exposed. I'm not holding that on Vrabel on that. No. But they got exposed in Super Bowl for being a tier below. There was weight. There's tiers of this and there's body weight. And they were too light in the trunks to mess with Seattle. Well, I got to blame the Bills defense for that. You let them connect on throw a bomb on you, regardless if it was a strip or not. The Bills defense was horrible. Shouldn't have been no shootout. But that's why got fired, because McDermott, they made everybody look good when they lose on defense. So when Kansas City beat us the year before, they hadn't even put up 30 points in like 20 weeks, and they put up a 30. You can't do that, and if you're gonna win, can't stop the run, can't stop the pass, getting your butt beat on the line. It's a recipe. So we deserve to lose. And look, it's my team, but I'm gonna keep it 100. If you don't play like you're supposed to, you're gonna catch a L. I don't care who it is. You either fix yourself to get it right, or you're gonna take that L. So I can't even say nothing about, I'm gonna just keep it 100 about that. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. Bills better come back this year on the line. Denver's gonna be pretty good. I mean, look, Sean Payton, if his arrogance don't get the best of him, they're gonna be a legit team. But I think they overachieved too, because Bo Nixon is frustrating. He throws too many picks, And he's a wild goose. He's a wild one. They got a good legit defense though. But oh yeah. Yeah. I don't really pay attention to all that though. Because what you saying to me, I don't pay attention to. Josh can stat pad good, but you know, I don't know. My thing is as long as you do what you're supposed to do, hey, it'll be all right. I think they'll do all right. Josh could be playing at MVP level again. The key is will he deliver? Well, I don't want them to be accurate because, see, that's the thing. I want them to be accurate if they say we win it all. I don't care about them being accurate about no stats. That's not the problem. Well, of course you're going to start Josh Allen, but dang. The last two are tough because I think they both. I'm not sold on Drake May and I'm not sold on Bo Nix. I guess I have to sit Drake down because Bo be kind of janky. Well, the defense has to play good, and he got to stay away from turnovers, and he has to play like he belongs. And I'm gonna say this again: we're waiting on who's gonna be the Phil Nicholson, the Patrick Mahomes, Tiger Woods. That's what we're waiting on, because we're getting a lot of Sergio Garcias. That's what we're getting. And if you know what I'm talking about, there's no VJ singing it, but you either gonna be Phil or you gonna be Sergio. And you remember what Patrick Mahomes, remember what Tiger Woods did when he was dominating the golf, and yeah, that's what they are. There's a lot of who's gonna be the Phil Nicholson because there's a lot of Sergios right now. Remember, it took Sergio like 20 years before he won a major. So we'll see. I hope he do it this year, but he ain't getting no younger. And you always run the risk of an injury. Mahomes gonna have at least one more run or two at another ring or two. So, him and Lamar gotta do something. So we'll see. I can't wait for it to start though. I really can't. Because this basketball season just been kind of, it's predictable. And when he's healthy, but they got to pick up the right receiver. They got to get good on defense again. But I do think he'll get a ring or two before his career's done. I mean, he could retire right now. He's Hall of Fame. He's HOF first ballot. He wouldn't have to do nothing if he didn't want to. So, you know, that's a heck of a statement when I could say that about a cat. But he's 101 though. So we'll see. All right now. I get that strike. 62% said Netflix is wrong. Only 62%? Expect that number to be a lot higher. But I know some people be trolling on the internet though. Yeah, I would definitely start Josh over those two, but Drake Main, yeah, he's okay, and Bo is okay. I think I'll give Drake just a slight edge, but that's not saying much though. So, hmm, let's see. What's up? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Oh, I'm CJ who? Cause I'm starting Caleb Williams easily. Oh, CJ Stroud. Oh, God. See, you funny. You give me one legit guy, and then you give me two cats that are busters. Well, Caleb's gonna start. CJ gonna sit, and Dart will have to get cut. Cause at least CJ Stroud does get me to the second round every year. I get the second round. He don't do nothing though. Dart hasn't showed nothing yet on that level, so we'll see. What's up, Charlene? How you doing? Feel free to come on in, give me conversation. Come on in. You can take this poll too, by the way. And feel free to hit the like. Y'all hit them likes up. Hit these polls up. We got something. Let it be known. What's up? I'm here. I had to send out notices. I'm here. I'm here for shucks. If you feel like talking, I'm here for another 40 minutes easily. Far as what? You talking about artistry? I hate to do a comparison like that. And if I had to pick, I like Sammy Moore, but I gotta say Nat King Cole if I had to pick. But I don't like them. I hate doing those. Oh, well, I told Charlene I was gonna be on today. And I'll be on probably Saturday, Sunday. So be on the lookout. As I said, the ones who follow me, and I send out notifications because they don't send notifications here. So hit that like button up too. Feel free to hit that like up. Yeah. That's kind of an odd comparison to ask me those two. Well, I don't see this is the thing. I watch Netflix for free where I spots I'm at because I have to watch it through other situations. So I would never subscribe to it, but I watch it. But I think they kind of overrated anyway. Out of those two, Miles Davis in the blowout. Out of those two. Yeah, well, it's gonna be out starting the next week. Well, you know how hateful they are. Cause they gotta try to act like they gotta play good cop, bad cop. They gotta get that money. Nope. And Charlene knows I go directly to Facebook to the people that I follow. I send a notice. I send them a message thing. I send it out saying, "Hey, this is such and such and such." So, or what I end up having to do. What's up? Everybody coming out here now. It's all good. Good thing I picked tonight. I think I picked the right night. Black icon, not an icon with the pop world, but black, I'd say to an extent. I'd say she was. Even though she might come across like a broke double Junior Whopper and Aretha Franklin because of what she is. I like Pretty Wings. Same old thing, same vocals. Dionne Ward. I'm taking Dionne. And those classic songs. But I like Natalie though. See. I guess so, because if you can say the word, it's got to be. That's a big word. Yeah, I'm taking Dion Ward, though. Yeah, the brain, how it coats, how it soothes. Hmm. Oh, God, two dismal songs. They both suck. By default, I'm going with Freeway of Love. But they both suck, though. Those songs suck. She was. She had crossover. But when you ask me, does she, like compared to Aretha, Diana, you know, even Roberta. Yeah, we're going to see a game seven too. Because even though I still think the Spurs would be better to roll over, they're not ready for the next round yet. They're about a year or two away. But when they do, they're going to have a 4 or 5 year one, though. Oh, better one hit wonder? Mark Morrison. Because I like that Groove Theory song. It made me think of Rick James. But the Morrison one got a lot out of Miles for Marge, for mid talent. Um, I like Phyllis Hyman better vocally, but Natalie Cole had the better catalog. So that's a kind of a tough one for me, but I have to call it like I called it. Because I like them both, and they both were bad, but Natalie Cole had access to crazy, but I like Phyllis Hyman a whole lot. But she don't have the catalog to match Natalie Cole, though. That's the facts. And the Groove Theory Mark Morrison one is good. Um, he's gonna win because Return of the Mac is too big. Tony Braxton, the blowout. I like Susanna Hull's eyes and expressions, but now Tony, short hair Tony. Okay, I did a video about. You should watch my videos. I addressed that. I did about Kevin Hart. I'm gonna tell you in just a second. Now this ain't got to do with talent, but I gotta start LB Sure because he had more solo appeal than Cooper and Melvin Riley. And then I gotta say, I guess I gotta say Michael Cooper a second. Then I'll say Riley. I like Riley, but see when you do stuff like that, it's kind of misleading because Cooper got more talent and Riley did that pre-key sweat thing. In my video, I addressed what I thought about Kevin Hart's sellout behind. And I know he was trying to be slick because he wanted to blame it on the roast and the white dude, and he didn't want to take accountability. I did. I talked about the video. He didn't want to be accountable for what he stirred because he don't understand why black folks get mad. Why? Nope. I said he was a broke Key Sweat, Junior Whopper. He sung that nasal like how Key Sweat sings. I didn't say anything about Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx came out as a broke knockoff of New Jack Swing. But Melvin Riley had predated Keith Sweat. Because when old Sheila and all that came out, Melvin was always sounding like somebody, though. Keith's a trip right by now. Midnight's starting to blow out. Ready for the World was smart to do clone hits and it worked, but Midnight Star tore they behind up as far as just, Calloway Brothers ain't no joke. Midnight Star was catchy. Ready for the World was catchy. Ready for the World was catchy, but Midnight Star got him beat. It's not really close. Not for me, it ain't. Better voice? Maxwell, but D'Angelo was more soulful. He just didn't always, it just didn't always come out in some of his, but he could sing. Prerogative because it had more, I listened to PYT more, but Prerogative was a cold song though. That's an anthem for Bobby. That stuff still goes hard. Better career is Maxwell. Because D'Angelo, unless you're a diehard fan, you're gonna look at them three records and go, Midnight Star wins with no parking on the dance floor and Slow Jam. Slow Jam alone was a beast of a slow cut. Operator, Midas Touch, Night Rider, which sounds like Billie Jean, Wet My Whistle. They had better songs. Look, I love PYT. I love both versions of PYT. And it was a tight song. But let's remember, it was like the sixth or seventh release on Thriller. Bobby Brown, that prerogative, okay, they decent. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you noticed or not. The man himself, Michael Jackson, one of the songs he used to bump to get him hype was Prerogative. That's how it led him working with Teddy Riley. You tell me. I like Slow Jam better though. That's the one Babyface wrote from back in '82 with Bo Watson. The Callaways wrote some tight songs though. Yep. That's a great question, actually. I like how you did that. I got to say the high waters with the White Sox because something that he emphasized is true. He once made this thing about Bruce Springsteen. He said if you put the cameras on his shoes, nobody would know who he was. So the Sox and the sparkly with the high waters was a smart marketing move. The guy, yeah, that was a trademark. That was a trademark on his toes with the White Sox glittering. As big as the glove was, the high waters with the White Sox. Believe it or not, I agree. Even though I went to go see the movie, and this is White Cat who went to go see it 7 times, and I looked over to the left and I saw his glove shining. The glove was big, but the high waters with the White Sox is, yeah. Because he got, when you watch the Thriller video and you watch the movie, that's why it gets the edge. When he told John Landis, I need the camera to come down on my socks. He did that on We Are the World too. If you watch, so I did watch that on Netflix, the Greatest Night in Pop Music, and the cameraman shot him up on the shoes. Yep. So that's what's up. Whip Appeal and a blowout. Because that's not my favorite baby. I mean, that's not my favorite Luther Vandross era. And Babyface hit properly with Whip Appeal. So that's not close for me. And now I love older Luther stuff, but that pop stuff, no, it's not wrong because you don't want no one to be all mean to turn you on. I mean, if you don't want to be bothered, they don't get the message, then you might have to get some spray or tell them, look, do I need to call to get a restraining order? I mean, no. I won't go through all that. Is it wrong? They could get mad if they got turned on under false pretenses. Now, if they got turned on, and you did something more than you should have done, they got it right. But if it's just generally, I ain't interested like that, no. Do you think we have to do that? Amongst others, Poor Man Stevie. Poor Man's a lot of people because he doesn't have the solo juice for me to make it. But in the band, when he working with somebody, because if he had game, if Raphael Sadiq had game like that, he'd have been giving R. Kelly the Babyface the blues because he could play and he just didn't have the it. Didn't have the it. Not like that. Frank who? You're not Sinatra. Um, I'd say Luther. No, they after the game won. Well, when your coach says it's okay, analytics we close, what you expect? And then when you would, oh yes, Luther gonna win that one. And James Party Hardy, he had me laughing with that press conference talking about, yeah, we lost 4-0, but we still the best team. I cracked up. So, say you go out. I take Presley because I like his voice more and he had better songs, but I like Cash a lot. But I'm gonna take Presley on that because he could do what Cash could do. Cash couldn't do what Presley could do. Sing a little gospel, sing a little blues, sing a little pop R&B. Presley was versatile with his thing. Cash was bad, but it's a different type of situation. Um, you go out on a date with somebody and you buy something or you compliment something, And see sometimes just a little nod or touch or something, it happened to a friend of mine a long time ago. There was this dude was kids and she told me the story. She kissed the dude on the cheek like she was just like soft. And then dude wanted to turn into like Billy D. Williams. He got all excited. And she said, wait a minute, I ain't mean that. So you gotta be careful with the kind of energy you put out there. Because if you approach somebody and then this kind of, I didn't mean to turn like I was being nice or I was being friendly, but then that type of thing gets lost where somebody might misconstrue it. They might look at it and think, oh, okay. So you gotta be careful when false pretenses is like you did something that was maybe a little bit excessive and it kind of, and if you gotta explain it, then you shouldn't do it. So like it's a difference. Shantae Moore, she got better range. Well, you really are showing me something tonight. You know some folks. Karen White can sing. Karen had the better. This is a trip out thing. They both were involved with high profile cats. You'd almost think these chicks were both almost escorts because they've been involved with the industry. Shantae Moore got crazy range though. She just doesn't get no love. She was being spoiled and winding down by the business. Karen White, background work with a lot of people. But her career, she was a problem case. But I think Shantae Moore wins though. Yeah, but I don't know. That ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't say nothing about that turkey, and I wasn't even talking about him because I'm What you know about Shantae Moore and her situation? She married to that dude on BET who used to be what he used to do. He was an interviewer. I didn't even know he was straight, but that blew my wig. But if you heard what I said, then you'll repeat. If you didn't, I'm not gonna repeat it. Cause I didn't know. And I don't know, but I know she was industry past her. Both of them were. Well, I wasn't even talking about Kenny Lattimore. Cause when she first came out, Louis Silas, who ran Silas Ruckers, was had her sent her to Paris, France. It was all sprung on her. They spent crazy loot on her. Then she was involved with Elder Barge. She was industry. She was married to Khadijah Hardison, remember from Different World, Kadeem. So she was industry. Karen White used to be married to Terry Lewis, Jamie Lewis, so industry. And the thing about it is the women who are industry, it's industry. It's like a tag on them. So, yeah. I ain't saying anything about Kenny Lattimore. He got a nice tone. He's a nice, you know, like a nice broke Brian McKnight. Can sing, nice polish. No, I think it's a classic record. I think he was emulating the Dre and the Snoop thing. I think he can. I think he can rap. I heard him with was that Magic Chick with uh some cats out of Chicago. Kills was busting a freestyle uh, with those cats, and he worked with Twister. Oh, Kales is the most important R&B artist during the hip hop era, bar none, because he could actually flow with them. And he actually, now the rapping was kind of, but it wasn't the worst. I think 12 Play is a classic record. But I think he did get better over time. Let's see. If someone offers to take you on a date, not necessarily, because sometimes, it's your actions. It's your actions, you know. But if you touchy feely and you kind of all slugged up and then you get all frozen, then they gonna look at you kind of strange. But like if y'all just going out, don't be nothing. Yeah, it is. He rapped more on that the one with born into the 90s, not so much on 12 play. But he did there was this song with Vicky Winans that came out back in 91, Don't Throw Your Life Away. He did rap. And he could rap all right. He was different for a standpoint for being an R&B cat that could rap. But he had this blues aesthetic and this gospel thing. I'll tell you. Yeah, you almost think the guy's like a robot. How versatile he is. You know. I like 12 play a lot. The only thing I kind of think Summer Bunnies when he was trying to do the Dre and the Snoop thing, but a lot of people were, but he could pull it off though. And let's say that if he was considered corn, then people wouldn't have bought the record like that. So he was good at what he did with that. My only knock on R. Kelly records usually is live instrumentation or when he goes performing live. That's my main knock. But the vocals are always on point. The guy could write his behind off, versatile, and before he got locked up, he was the baddest act going. Now I think Bruno's got that title now, but he was the baddest one. I still say shoot, he puts out stuff from lockup, he'd still almost be knocking people out musically. Cause it's a void without him. I love the first 5 to 12, then after that it got cornball. But the first 5 to 12, the 12 was I cracked up. I thought it was great. I thought in a I want to say Tyler Perry meets Rudy Ray Moore kind of way. He, yeah, put the voices and the images together, had people talking. I mean, he really did. The guy, you know, Versatiles, I don't know what. The only thing I said before is like to expand in horizons, but you know, yeah, it was funny, and again, all the some cliches, but then there was some other parts. So the couple, the cat that got got up on him, and then the preacher he ended up, they him and that woman ended up getting married in real life. So yeah, they did some commercials too. Yeah. So start bench trade. Oh shucks. Well, yeah, because you got Sierra there. That's why. You gonna have Sierra. She was gone. Um, we'll trade. We'll trade. God, we'll trade Aaliyah. We couldn't Sierra. I'm going to start Madonna because she had a better catalog than Janet. I listen to Janet probably more, but if I'm keeping 100, Madonna had a better catalog. She got bigger songs. But they don't mean much though. But yeah, that's what I would do. I like how you came out. Well, I would want to cut Aaliyah. I want to cut Sierra though. Sierra get cut. The reason I asked because I asked. I don't think you'd be leading him on if you keep it platonic. And if you said that be friends, but you can take somebody's number or social media things that don't mean nothing. Now, your actions are another. Just because she can out dance Madonna, what's that supposed to mean? No one listens to Sierra. She's Mrs. Russell Wilson. Nobody care about her whack records. I didn't say take a number in case the relationship don't work. I say you could be a friend, like a spiritual perspective. I didn't say take a number. When I say take a number, sometimes you just friend somebody. So like if you friend somebody on Facebook, Instagram, that don't mean that you chasing them. You cool. Okay. Do they work? No. No. They rebound. They are what they are. I can only speak for my own self. Now, they fun. They fun. But usually it's fun and games. No, you should only take the numbers if you think y'all gonna be friends. So you gotta tell somebody, I don't want to be a booty call. I don't want to be a booty call. You like if I take your number, we could be friends. That's how it would have to be anyway. Take nobody number or have a situation because they sitting around there waiting. This ain't a booty call hotline. We could be friends. We can talk. That's all I want. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I don't want no pressure. And you need to be smarter than just trying to just rub up. Who told you that? Who told you that? Let me put it to you like this, right? You got an uncle, right? You got a brother, cousin, daddy, grandfather, minister. He's a man. You can be friends. One time you can't be friends is if you have an agenda. Now, you say you can't be friends if you're always thinking about certain other things. If they win the championship, yes. But They depend on who they play. I still think the Knicks got a chance to win. But they play OKC 6. But if OKC take them 7, but if you're the Knicks, you want to beat them in 4 or 5 though. You don't want to play anything more than 6 games, because then you get exposed. And that's the problem with the Knicks. They haven't been exposed yet. So when they get some hardship, that's when you find out what you got. I don't know why people don't think men and women can't be friends, because you have to learn discipline. You have to learn how to respect. I don't know who said you can't be. I don't understand that logic. I mean, you might always look at somebody, but then after a while, your mind has to be like, yeah, you know. See some real quick. I don't think that the Sixers gave up. I just think that they were just. I think that the problem is that they just didn't have no answer for what New York was bringing that onslaught. What do you mean? Is YouTube burned out a real thing too? Oh, no, I don't. I've never been burned out by YouTube. I don't like they politics, but I ain't burned out by them. I like a lot of content creators. I follow a lot of people. I learn a lot. I think if you say that, it's only because if you think that they got too many stipulations and rules about your content. Is it because people don't want the burden of responsibility, don't want to have to come over temptation? Well, you have to go through those chapters and those waters. But you have to work through a friendship before you can have any kind of relationship. That's all. So I'll say this. I believe in my content. I believe in my channel. I think my channel should be even bigger, personally, based on what I put as far as titles and my creativity. However, I don't make an emphasis of chasing things because, first of all, YouTube ain't the same as it was when I started. We didn't have to deal with corporate people. Stephen A. Smith used to clown content creators and all that. Now what he got? He got a YouTube channel. He got sponsorship. I don't do sponsorship. I haven't haven't really felt compelled to, because if I'm already got commercials on my channel, so why would I? They should pay me on top of that plus what they run. If I start doing potato chips on my ad, it kind of takes away from. I might consider a corporate one for like water or something that's essential, but I don't be sitting on talking about no candy bar and no sneakers when I got a serious topic. That's kind of doing too much. I do a news outlet as it is. So, but I'm not burnt out. I've done pretty good. I met some great people, so I'm not burnt out. There are people who do that because we all watch each other. We all take from each other, but it's how you create your own lane. But I'm not one of those kind of people that just brings up stuff for clicks and views. First of all, if you look at my videos, you can tell some of the stuff that I touch on. I'm not touching on a lot of certain things that other people do, and it's not making me better. It's not making me worse. I have different topics that I point out to what I want to talk about, and it ain't always meant to blow up. If it blows up, I don't turn it down, because I think every creative-minded person wants to succeed. You're not gonna ever hear me say I don't want to. You know, I want to be successful. I believe that I deserve that right. I think I put out quality product, but at the same time, I'm not chasing it either. I'm not chasing nobody. 3 impactful records. Well, thank you, because that's what I strive for. Who wants to? So you must have saw that Prince D'Angelo thing, which I did see. This Asian cat had that thing on there, and he talked about 40 albums versus 3. Um, you noticed that with certain artists. Thank you so much. Yes, I do, because I talk about a lot of different topics. I mean, life is life. Life ain't limited to just one thing. We don't live in a compartmentalized bubble where you're just limited to just this sector. I'll give you a case in point. I went to go see Michael and Devil Wears Prada. I happen to like Michael Jackson. Obviously, he's an artist. I like the movie, but Meryl Streep too. So that's in itself is a nutshell of my life. So I know, and you watch different things. You're not just especially with black folk. People think everyone is just all the one thing. No, who cemented more? People gonna tell you Beyonce because she crossed over. She had a bigger career. I did. Because I like Meryl Streep, but it was cute. And it represents an era that is really bygone. But they put that one first out 20 years ago. If you ask me just strictly music, I'm taking Mary. But if you're going by pop culture and all that, it's gonna be Beyonce. I don't get caught up in typecasting or nothing. Um, you watch what you watch. Um, I like romantic comedies. Harry Met Sally is one of my favorites. I love when Harry Met Sally. Because I think that if you've ever been involved with a woman in certain situations, it's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. Certain type of patterns, it's like, yeah. Well, first of all, she was a Clive Davis protege, and you know what that means. That means he's gonna usually sap you, borrow you, and make you seem as wholesome as milk coming out of a carton. So she, with the piano and classically trained, and I know about that, and playing Chopin, and her vocal sounded all like a scratching cat getting ran over by a train. You know, with that little corny hip hop beat when she had Crucial Conflict on her first 2, 3 records. And all her songs sound like, because Fallen sounds just like James Brown, It's a Man's World, even down to the screeching. Um, nice looking woman. That's what they was trying to sell her on. They gave her the cool name of Keys because her real last name was, she's from Hell's Kitchen. What's her? Um, Alicia Cook. So she got renamed. They pit her against NDRE because she looked more commercial. Put Method Man in the video. Let's see. Well, you want to be honest with your friend. If you love your friend, you tell the truth. You might run the risk of them chewing you out and dissing you, but hey, you rather be honest with your friend. That's what friends are for. If they real, if they real. See, I'll tell you a quote that I like. Prince had a good quote about that. Your friends ain't on your payroll. So basically, in English, if I want to give you something, I give it to you because dig you, because I dig you. But I ain't gotta be forced to pay you to keep you. No, you don't want to run out on somebody. We have to be prepared for a situation. She's not a complete artist. She was trying to sell you on stuff that you. And so if you listen to old school melodies, progressions, I know what Clive was trying to do. She's trying to pull that Lauren Hill, that same stunt that they did with Roberta Flack, you know. And if you listen and you go back, you'll see a blueprint of what's going on. You see a blueprint. Oh, I peeked it out. And he got all them Grammy awards, and she was just the toast of the town. Yeah, I remember. I remember when Rick James said there was no songs in a minor key. He dissed her too, but he knew that Clyde was behind it. And I remember when she was on Oprah, and they said she was a writer, producer, and they trying to hype her. Blueprint for what? Is she more of a blueprint than Madonna? Is she more of a blueprint than Donna Summer? Is she more of a blueprint than Diana Ross? Is she more of a blueprint than Shaka Khan? Blueprint for what? If you are dancing black female pop artistry and you're like Sierra, then yeah, Janet Jackson might be your, even though Michael dominates. So, but blueprint for what though? She's had influence, but I don't look at her like that because it didn't really fit. It sounded kind of dinky. It was like the kind of song that if Michael was just doing a straightforward R&B thing. So say for instance, they weren't trying to appeal to all the demographics. You keep a song like Hot Street, Carousel, the Slow Down PYT, Baby Be Mine, probably put You Can't Get Out of the Rain. You put like those kind of songs, yes. He wasn't bugging. It didn't I understand exactly what he was listening to. Hot Street didn't really like Nightline, Hot Street, not that they sound like outtakes. There's a difference between an outtake and a song that sounds like album ready. It's like when I listen to Serious Effect that Michael did with LL Cool J. You know, it's catchy, but I can see why it didn't make the cut. I know he wasn't bugging out. He knew about songs. Listen, stuff you want to pick on about Quincy Jones, have at it. I don't argue with a man who know how to put songs in his ears because he had probably he's in my top five as far as best ears in music I've ever. The cat generally knew how to put a record together. That's a gift. Not everybody can. Yeah, but that wasn't the reason why that song didn't make the cut. And if I had to pick another song, I would have said Carousel. Because Carousel, Michael was singing on that song. And of course, the toy didn't make it, which was supposed to go for that Richard Pryor movie. Because I liked the chorus, I just didn't like the lyrics. But the chorus was, Michael sounded great on it. They had so much cutting room floor stuff that could have probably put it out as a second record. But it wouldn't have been able to touch the Thriller record because you had songs like Billie Jean and Beat It and Human Nature, which were wicked. Lady in My Life Want to Be Starting Something, which were wicked. So good luck with that. You gotta have stuff that's coherent. I know exactly where Quincy was coming from. I had no problem with it. I thought Hot Street was a cute song, but I think pick the right nine. I ain't got no problem with it. I wouldn't have had a problem if he'd have made like a part two of the record, but I don't think it would have worked the same because it would you gotta have like money tracks. And Michael was good about coming up with a money track. He always had a record like that. Oh, I'm not gonna. But see, when you say that, you're stepping into what I said. Why Quincy Jones didn't want that. Notice what you're comparing it up against. Yeah, it sounds better than that. But see, he would have been basically an upper supper version of Chris Brown if he puts that kind of material out. That wasn't the plan. The plan was the takeover. You see. And when you listen to it, then you understand. There are levels to that. Yeah, I have. Yeah, they were out there. Everybody wasn't in love with him. I knew Prince people who didn't. I met people. I met something of everyone who didn't like. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I know some people didn't like Stevie Wonder. I know people didn't like Marvin Gaye. You name them. You know. Well, let's keep it 100. I bet you a year ago, before the premieres came out, there was people that was kind of like nonchalant on Michael. Some people then kind of jumped on it. I can respect if people come from a musical perspective when they say they don't like an artist. I just don't like it when they use their personal life. Now, two different lanes. Even though they both did I Want to Be Where You Are, Leon Ware wrote, no. Because Marvin was more sensual, more grown. Michael's thing was, and I know Marvin was a little bit envious of him because he had to be, because he had to think this cat's coming along as a kid and he's just blowing up. How long I've been around. So he was respectful. They were respectful of each other. But now anybody standing in your way. Who told you this lie that people stand in some people's way? You know. Nobody, the only thing that stands in your way is the industry. They're the ones who are the big bad bully because they spend the money on who they want to. I have to. And I'm like, okay, what's he better than him at? And don't give me that 27 instruments crap or how prolific he is, because that's not what I want you to tell me what you think he's better than him at. Now, if you want to talk about songwriting and productivity, you can make a point. If you talking about composition or you talking about versatility, Michael's got him beat. It depends on what your argument is, but make it legit. Tell me that he's more music or something like that. Because one thing about it is that millions of people that I've met that says not much separate, because that's the comparison, but it is crap. I bought the first album of his and he had finger snaps and toe tapping. Oh, that's what they use. That's what they come at me about. And I said, if you listen to Prince's records and you're objective, there's always skippable songs on his records. Little Richard once said about him, he said a little bit of something better, a whole lot of nothing. He was, because I'll give you a good example. He worked with Quincy Jones. I'm gonna tell you a story. That wasn't considered fashionable when they worked together. They wanted Michael to work with Maurice White. They would have probably taken Nile Rodgers, but not Quincy Jones. They said Jazz Cat, arranger, producer. What's he gonna do? The Brothers Johnson was a hip thing, but what's he gonna do? It was kind of seen. That's how I feel. I know a lot of people that are multi instrumentalists. Doesn't mean that and Prince was bad. I'm gonna give Prince his due when he was in his peak in his prime, which was basically the 80s. But a lot of that stuff that he did afterwards, he wasn't going to stay in those eras because the bad was a reflection of that. Oh, they all have people in the studio. Everybody does. That is the lie that they tell you, because Steve Wonder had producers. I mean, they had cats. When you put a record out, you don't just turn in something because you who you is. He had to fight Warner Brothers every time. Now, well, he put a lot of records out, but they didn't hit Diamonds and Pearls hit a little bit, but he ain't had no big. There wasn't no big fanfare for his stuff after a while, and they were watching. No, I didn't really care for it. I like Electric Chair. I remember liking Electric Chair. I liked the hook on Vicky Waiting and Scandalous, but I thought it was kind of just like it was a desperate attempt to make cash because he had to ride the logo, the Batman logo. He wasn't originally where you're gonna put no record out. Party Man was cool too, but it was a cash in because that's what it was. It was a smart move on his part. He made some loot, and it was a corporate move, and he made loot. But you know, Michael couldn't stay in an era like that because that was those fumes were set so high that it was kind of hard to. I know what you mean because it was like magical, and he did have an aura about him, but you know. But yeah, with Prince, it's always like this whole, you know, people go into this whole pattern, like, oh, yeah. So it makes for interesting discussions. You know, we got a lot to talk about that. I remember when, so just reading the notes, taking notes. Feel free to keep on hitting the likes up. But that's not, I mean, I'm not bashing, I'm going to say this about Prince. I may have been indifferent of his albums after 88, but as a live performer, that's where I still, went to go check him. I wasn't crazy about his ruckus the last 25, 30 years. What's your LL Cool J question? Thoughts on my LL question? Do remind me. Start bench cut. You gonna start Aretha. You gonna bench Shaka, and then you gotta cut Tina. Because if I'm going by who moves me from start to finish and the impact, I gotta go Aretha. Aretha's not going nowhere. Shaka would be second that I listen to because I like a lot of songs, and Tina have to go. If Tina had stayed on the sexy Ida tip, then that would have been a different situation. Now, oh, excuse me. But Aretha's the queen for a reason. I like Shaka. What's your LL question? Because I don't remember it. And I need to scroll back up here to look because I don't remember what you saying anything about LL. I don't want to leave no question unturned, so feel free to re-emphasize that question again if you said something about LL Cool J. Well, tell me again. He was better for me regardless. Well, he did. Actually, if you go by his Jackson 5 era, he did. Because from 69 to 75, they worked like slaves for Motown. They put out a ton of he had a record out every year in some form of capacity from 69 to 82. So, but when he got grown, he got sold and he blew up, then he changed the dynamics. But no, I don't think he had to do that because it's about quality over quantity. And like I said, Prince sometimes he get an idea and he think everybody want to hear it, and sometimes it was cool, and sometimes it was just kind of like there. I appreciate his, that kind of vibe, but then it was like, sometimes you just got to know when to just kind of fall back. But there's no competition. Oh, I'm starting Barry White, and I'm sitting Isaac Hayes down, which is close. Teddy P gets cut because Barry and Isaac had crazy impact. Not hard for me. I like Teddy Pendergrass and all that, but White and Isaac were more better composers because they wrote their stuff and they had impactful stuff more so. I mean, Barry White with his ecstasy got songs that just hit you in the mode. Isaac Hayes' arrangements on Shaft and all that. I like Teddy, but those guys on another level. Have you looked at their catalog? Have you listened to Barry White's instrumental music? Have you listened to Isaac Hayes', No. Harold Melvin had a nice tone. He had that whiskey and yak tone. You know. I liked Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. So nothing's crazy of what you like. You just being honest about what you like. We need that. James Brown. I listen to Barry White more, but James Brown, come on now. Godfather Soul Impact the Funk. You can't even begin to know. But I like Barry White probably more, but James Brown for the W. Because I'm out of respect. But I also know James Brown's impact. Barry White got him beat from a technical perspective. But when you put the what White was able to do. So that's how I look at that. And I enjoy them both, so. More impactful. Uh hmm. Well, if you're asking me impactful, are you asking me from commercial or are you asking me in general? Means two different things because that's how I have to assess it. If I'm talking about commercial, then it's Jennifer Lopez, Selena, and then Gloria Stefan is last. Yes, there are, but they're they're reserved. Some of them are reserved. So I'd have to say Jennifer Lopez would be considered more impactful, and then Selena, and then Stefan. Yeah, I think there are. I think we're doing great tonight. Uh the only reason why I would take Jennifer Lopez because she had crazy crossover. Who would I date? Most. It did the order you got. Celine would be first. Stefan would be an interesting second, and J Lo's gonna be last. She too cray cray. Prettiest in their prime. Selena. Yeah, I gotta say it like that. You never gave me your LL Cool J question. I'm still waiting on that. Did I say something wrong about J Lo and the? She crazy. You know she crazy. Somebody gonna watch this show and tell her I said so, and she be all mad. And I say, well, it's true. Just tell me right now. Just say, was it music related? Yep, that's some stand behaviors, which was sad. And I think she was eligible for parole or something. It was recent. But no. I saw her. She's supposed to be getting out or something. Something was up. I don't know. I don't know. If his legacy was helped or hurt or helped by what? He hasn't hurt anything with his legacy. I think that it's kind of selfish he never did the Super Bowl because I thought he'd be one of the best people to do a Super Bowl. He's got hype songs and he's got a career, but now what would hurt his career? So I haven't seen anything about LLY say he's hurt his legacy. But if he kept doing songs with Brad Paisley, he might have some explaining to do. That was problematic. Uh Beyonce's gonna start. I hate to say this. I guess Taylor Swift by default, because Rihanna's thing ain't been it's big, but it ain't the way it once was. Beyonce will make it out of him. Well, falling off and still having an impact where people still go see it, they still touring, so no, she not. She ain't bigger than Michael Jackson. Not now she ain't. And I got cash money that's 30, 40 years from now. There ain't gonna be no Taylor Swift biopic that anyone's gonna care on. It ain't gonna be the same. She's a very mid act. Uh if Beyonce goes a straight for a rocket, then it's. But again, I know he was involved, but I thought I'd put that thing on there because I didn't want nobody saying nothing stupid about how big Taylor Swift's corny behind is when she won't be remembered. They don't even have an interest in her like that now. She was at that basketball game with Kelsey and Cleveland. Nobody even moved their neck. She doesn't move the needle like that. Beyonce had more impact on that. And I did say that you'd have to bench her compared to Rihanna because Rihanna ain't had that kind of run. So that's all. Oh yes, because first of all, they Warner Brothers right now is pushing the Madonna one. They pushing all this. They ain't no interest for nobody. She won't come up with on $1 billion movie. Put it out right now with all her greatest songs and her impact. Let's see what happens. You'd be lucky if you get 200. So I just call it like I see it. I had to pick on that because I knew this Taylor Swift love was gonna come on, and she's starting to wane right now. The Burbies are going more towards Sabrina Carpenter. I'm just saying. So, I did think I heard something. I didn't get the title, but it was all right. I did have something that was sent to me, but I don't like terms like Afro R&B. That makes me think of a cat with an afro that happens to be singing soulful, not because of the beats and the cadence. You know, the way people are celebrating. Not quite. Not quite. Not quite. Not $1 billion. What's her $1 billion film at? Huh? See, if you know better than that. There ain't that kind of interest for her. They always got a way of whitewashing titles and making it sound like it's some new sensation, and this stuff is just popular music. At the end of the day, you know, that's what they got. The fans don't care. It's the factory, yo. It's like Taylor Swift came behind the Katy Perry machine. She was a little bit before, but it's the same old thing. So I was just using the name for emphasis. None of them are memorable. None of them are memorable. Because if they were memorable, they would be movies like it was said up above. Believe me, there wouldn't be no plan. You gotta get your career going. So that's comical. I'm laughing. See. No, she won't. No, she won't. No, she won't. You're living and seeing what Michael Jackson's got 40, 50-year-old songs. Ain't nobody in 20, 35 years going to be looking at Taylor Swift and go, oh, wow, if ever, ever, ever. No, they're not. They're not. Um, she won't be remembered like that. She barely remembers. She's hanging on to now. If you think about it, she's big in white world, not in a universal context. She does have black fans. She have fans over, but it's not like ain't like that kind of career. Well, there's a lot of acts like that, but like I said, as a band leader, he'd have been interesting. He had talent around him. I don't know. I think it would have been a little tricky. Well, he could have geared towards rock and roll. He could have geared towards Fats Domino, Chuck Berry. I think he could have pulled it off. That's a good question because I hadn't even thought about it, and I do like Cab Calloway. That's a real good question. But audience is a little bit different. It all depends on how you coming out. So see what time I got. I like that question about Cab Calloway. That got my attention. I got 15 minutes before I will depart. So 15 more minutes. Because I have put down be like 2 hours. I will come back here on Saturday, Sunday. We still got 15 minutes now. So if you got questions, let's get them. Cab Calloway came out and was fronting the British Act. He might could pull off. But no. I think he could be a good figure. I don't know about, again, audiences and stuff. Peanut butter and jelly. That's my favorite. Nothing has changed. And if I'm doing a veggie one, I got a vegan sandwich with lettuce and tomato. So peanut butter and jelly. Ain't a lot changed with that. Still my favorite. Smooth. Wheat bread. Toasted is preferable, but sometimes it don't cooperate with me. And I like my jam jelly to be like grape or strawberry. Crunchy is when I accidentally buy it by mistake. And I do like crunchy, but sometimes crunchy and me, it all depends. I wouldn't mess it with baguette, and I don't like white bread. Because you were giving up something that and I'm gonna got a story. So at my church, there's this woman and they had a baby. That baby is the most laid back. I tell you, every time the baby would come to church, that the kid didn't move. Like you could want to adopt that kid for like 6 months to a year. Sometimes if you're a parent and you give in to what the child is doing, sometimes the child picks up on you being a softy and they manipulate it. So if you got them in carriage and it's all about, obviously you want to feed them as well as you can and most healthiest. But there's little games that get played. It's underrated because people think of it as more of a certain era, but I think it's the greatest sandwich ever. So, so I don't know if I call it underrated, but I just think that people probably think of it as a certain reflection of maybe their childhood or something. I've always just loved it, so I don't care. It's one of the few things from childhood that I still like, though. In all honesty, is yeah, yeah. So, like Michael Jackson said, don't have the baby if you can't take the baby. It's a lot of psychological warfare with certain people. if you're going to eat. None of them appeal to me at all. So I guess by default, it would be R&B, but none of them appeal to me at all. Not at all. Yeah. I think when people really understand, because I had a Boca burger the other day. Oh, that thing was so good. Beyond Burger, Beyond Burger. I call it Boca. Beyond Burger was great. All natural. And I just sat there and I want to take a picture of it. Because it almost brought a tear to my eye. It was so good. But I don't miss none of that though. That's fair. Is that a restaurant? Is what a restaurant? Oh, I wouldn't eat it in no restaurant. And if I was eating stuff like that, I sure as heck wouldn't eat no restaurant. They'd probably overcharge you. I don't want no parts of that though. Yeah, well, that makes you get through the day. More power to you. That was very common on the East Coast. It's a funny story about Chipotle. One time they had opened where I used to live, and we was all happy because it was like 18 something. But then when I got, can I get some sauce and some napkins and all that? Next thing I knew, that thing went from 18 to like 23. I was like, what the heck? Now, because it's chain. And chain is a way to analytics. And just like how they do pro sports, they water down your food. So now, no. Yeah, well, they don't say they're saving money, so they put stuff, but no, I don't like no chain. Because there's chains that if you go to a chain place and it's not as good as what you remember, you're frustrated. So, and I don't want no frustration. Uh, it's been years. It's been years. Because when you give up eating certain foods, you don't mess around with fast food places. You know. No, I think I actually had a veggie meal there, and it's just that once they raised the prices, and then the other stuff kind of hit me out the wrong hole. So, oh boy. So that's how I look at it. All depends on what your preference is as far as the food, but yeah, I don't miss nothing like that. So yeah, I eat fries. Of course, I eat fries. Nope, because I can put barbecue on my veggie burgers and they taste all right to me. So I don't miss none of that stuff. I did do that. I actually tried that Jiffy that mess at a buddy's house. This was about 15 plus years ago. It brought back memories. My grandmother used to have one of them things, and the thing would burn half, and then it was like it was gonna electrocute you. So we had to end up, had to do that. We had that Jimmy Crack popcorn. And it's cute and cool for nostalgia, but it's a hard way to make your popcorn if you don't get it right. So yeah, I do like that popcorn on the stove though when it's done right. If the kernels come correct, yes. All right. I like that popcorn, but like I said, it was frustrating. Because if the kernels don't come out right, you mad. And I remember my grandma used to make the popper and then big old slobs of butter on the side of the bag. The bag was like Jermaine Jackson's hair. It's all greasy on the side. It was crazy. Yeah, I remember. You love the butter. It's just that when that thing was like high cholesterol, but it was at the time, you know, at the time. Stuff I used to eat, and I don't do no more. So I don't miss it. So, you got to go through those things in life. That's why it's life. Mm. Anytime, anytime. Had I had the kind of foods that I've had in the last 15 years that they changed so much, or I'd had better access, I would have done it a lot sooner. Any age, especially for black men, black folks, because our cholesterol is usually the worst. And before people say, well, you gonna bring racial into all that, I said, well, go to the doctor's office. I said, you ever go to the doctor's office? Yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, I love a popcorn. You go to the doctor's office, they come at you about being black, about what you got to worry about, your cholesterol, your diet, and all that. So yeah, we have the worst reputation for all that. So they let it be known. So, but yeah, I love butter popcorn. Oh yeah, I don't like that salt flavor. I like that butter, but it's not an everyday thing. I got skinny pop, and I like that a lot. So that's what's up. I will be back on Saturday, probably Sunday. So I'm just saying, one or both days. So be on the lookout. I'll be back. Um, I'll be on. I'm gonna call it a day though for now because I've been on for 2 hours, and I will be chopping this video up in the edits. And so appreciate everyone that came through. Appreciate everyone that took the poll. The final results: 73%. Yes, they will cancel. I don't mess with no salt if I can help it. Oh well, some turkeys do that mess, and that's how they end up with ulcers and tummy aches, and that's a recipe for disaster. If you're gonna do that, you don't need that. Now, if you want to add some ranch or or yeah, some ranch or something, but you got to be smart with your dip. That's all I'm gonna say. They're good for you. I like for breathing. They're good for open up your clogs, your nose. So Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to bounce because I've been on for 2 hours, and I'm gonna come back Saturday, Sunday. So look for me on the double feature, and we will continue these conversations. I appreciate everybody that came through because I do got to get ready to roll. But stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true, and I will catch you soon. Peace, and I'm out.